Hello and welcome again to another episode of our ongoing series, Surviving Broker Business in the Time of COVID 19. I am joined once again by top experts and professionals in the real estate industry to discuss how brokers, real estate businesses, property seekers, and investors can move forward and stay productive while we deal with this health crisis. And of course, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask our panel, please ask them on the comment section and we will try to get their answers to you as soon as possible. We will also be asking the questions you asked today on the next episode of Surviving Broker Business in the Time of COVID 19. So today we have Dr. Eduardo Ong, President of Edward King Global Consultants Incorporated, Manny Florendo, Realtor and lead broker of PhilProperties International Corporation, and Michael Mabutol, President, Managing Director of Pinnacle Real Estate Consulting Services, Inc. Thank you guys so much. Maraming salamat po for taking the time to share with us your insights during the current situation. So before we get started, bago po magsimula, of course, I need to ask. We are at, I believe, day 10 of the quarantine. And I'd like to know how you are all doing now. How are your businesses still going? If we can start with Manny. Manny, kamusta? I heard it is your birthday today too, so happy birthday. Hopefully you're celebrating it well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, mag-isa lang ako sa bahay, namamaling ka pa yung family ko.
Manny, let's start with you. How are you? How is business going?
Well, now, since nga itong start ng quarantine, so sa bahay lang, but I'm in touch with my clients and my agents through Zoom din. And luckily, I have an office here near my place. So pwede akong pumunta anytime. Yeah.
Sorry, what about you, Mike? Kamusta?
Well, we are 60% operational right now. Luzon, everyone in Luzon is working from home. And for Visayas and Mindanao, we are working on skeletal force. Again, this is in compliance with the government's directive of the staying at home. But everything is business as usual.
Okay, business as usual. That's good to hear. What about you, Dr. Ong? You mentioned you were having classes on Zoom then.
Oh, yes. I just had my class yesterday.
Okay.
But, in these very COVID times, I think we have to be prepared. As I have always been, my being at home now gave me a lot of insights. Number one, I did a lot of browsing of my books and did some writings and also look at some prospecting and listings, etc. I have been in contact with my clients most of the time via Zoom and via so many medium that we use. And I guess we'll be all right. We are about, as I said, 60% operational likewise.
Okay, that's good to hear. So let's get started with the first set of questions for you, right? So I mean, you already partially responded to this, but how about your team, your agents, the people who work under you? How are they handling the situation right now? Let's start with Dr. Ong.
Okay, so the question says that how can broker retain clients in this era of COVID-19? What it only goes to show what I've written way back in 1990 when the first bill professionalizing the real estate service was filed in Congress, that real estate, despite setbacks, despite problems and temporary, then real estate will always be and will always be a sunshine industry. Come what may, it is very good today because we have a very effective medium, and that is social media. We are talking right now, and we are communicating and imparting to our viewers our insights on how to survive in this era of COVID-19. I have been in touch with my clients. Actually, before the lockdown, I have few clients who are supposed to close. But because of that, nothing happened. We'll have to wait until the time that it will be open again, and so that we will be able to continue and push through. But what do we do? What can we do during these times? I think what we can do is a lot of connectivity, a lot of networking, a lot of browsing, a lot of social media, and everybody is now very active in social media, and I think that's it. Business will never stop because we have a very effective medium, and that is social media.
All right. Thank you for that answer. Manny?
Yeah, what's the question again? Sorry.
My question is, how are broker business owners with agents handling the situation right now?
This is the time, I think more than before, na we have to connect with our agents
Mm-hmm.
because, kalimitan sa kanila based on purely by commission lang. So it's a time siguro na as a broker owner, as a title instead of a CEO,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be at this time.
Okay. What about you, Mike? How are you and your team?
Yeah, well, basically the key here, the general instruction that I gave to my colleagues, employees is basically keep in touch with your client. And when I say keep in touch, sincerely ask them how they're doing. And then the second instruction that I gave to them is this is a time for planting seeds, so to speak, time for housekeeping. Again, everyone, if you're going to put a number in terms of marketing, everyone is probably working from home. 70 to 80% are probably working from home. And so they're all in front of their computers and on their phones. There are also, before this happened, I'm sure there are a lot of closings that probably should have happened before the lockdown. But during this period, this is the time to address all the pending matters. So that when this is over, all you have to do is reap what you saw, close deals, so to speak.
All right. Right. Thank you very much for those answers. So we're talking about like social media and how phones and how technology is helping us right now, and that we wouldn't be able to do our businesses without technology, right? So my next question would be, specifically, if you guys can be specific, what avenues and platforms and tools and apps are you using to maximize your business during this time? I'm sure a lot of our audience are wondering, no, aside from Zoom, I feel like the most common denominator for all of us is Zoom.
Yeah.
What are the other ones that we're using today? So if we can start with Mike, of course.
Yeah. Well, basically two things. In terms of marketing, there's a lot of social media sites available. Of course, Facebook, LinkedIn. You'll be surprised that everyone's in LinkedIn right now. Everyone's so active in LinkedIn right now. You're getting messages, or you're getting a lot of posts in LinkedIn. Of course, Facebook has always been there. Maximize as well your website, Viber, and WhatsApp, to be specific. Then in terms of management, our management team actually is talking. Aside from Zoom, we're also maximizing FB Messenger, Viber, and WhatsApp. And then emails are still there. Infrastructures, communication aren't broken, so we could still maximize these platforms.
All right. What about you, Dr. Ong?
One thing I noticed in these times is that a lot of people are now using, platforms and avenues like what Mike has said, LinkedIn, Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, and everything else. I even received queries from abroad, especially inquiring about status of some projects that are here in the Philippines. And likewise, that this virus is pandemic, and this is all over the world. But we should not sit down like that, and then we should do our share in really, of course, promoting our industry, and that is the real estate industry. it's time for us to really move forward, to be able to really acquire a bigger, more potent, more dynamic network, so to speak, so that when this is over, at the end of the day, we'll be able to expand our word, our domain, and then we will be getting a lot of clients. I've always been doing Zoom meeting with my brokers and with my clients, with my students, and also with everybody else, even my friends. And we have a chat group, and we do, and we are updated with the recent happenings in the industry, and likewise happening in COVID-19 and happening in the world. And we are not alone. We are spreading our networks all over the world.
Okay. What about you, Manny? What are you using for you and your team?
Yeah, aside from, in addition to yung mga platforms na ginagamit ni Mike at saka ni Dr. Ong, ang challenge ngayon natin ng mga brokers and agents is how to generate leads nga. And of course, the number one pa rin is through yung mga real estate advertising platform like, of course, Lamudi, to advertise your listings. And therefore, for tripping, we try to create our own video through our pictures and Google Maps, Street View, using Filmora, if you know about that. And then we upload it to YouTube. And we also use SlideShare for presentation of our listings. And of course, Zoom. And for documentations, for signing documents, we use DocuSign. And well, luckily we have our own PhilProperties has its own CRM, so that's how we.
Okay, that's really interesting. Right, I guess that's one question that I want to quickly jump in on. Mike, for you who are continuing, for figuring out how to do trippings, I think that's one main question of a lot of our brokers right now, is that how are we going to do tripping? Because as we know, it is napaka essential for a lot of our clients to push through. So Manny's doing video presentations of and using different apps to make this happen. Mike, is something similar that Pinnacle is doing? I think I sent
that's
post on
where
LinkedIn. Yeah.
that's where it gets tricky. Of course, we have mobility limitations. We're advised ito na yung mag-shift tayo from traditional way of doing real estate business. Andyan yung virtual viewing, providing them with all due diligence requirements during the lockdown. You'll keep on hearing from planting seeds, addressing all concerns and questions in the lockdown. And then when this is over, that's when the time close all deals, because you've already addressed everything in a month or two, depending on how long this lockdown would continue.
Okay, right. So thank you for your insights. Let's move to the next question, right? And I think already Dr. Ong answered this a while ago with my first question actually. How can brokers retain clients during a time like this? How are you retaining your clients right now? We can start with Manny, if that's okay. Manny? All right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Medyo mabagal internet ko.
Yeah, it's okay. I can feel PLDT is breaking down right now. But as I asked a while ago, how can brokers retain clients during a time like this? What are you and your team doing to keep your clients during this time?
Well, actually, this time we refrain on actually selling much. So instead, we try to connect with clients. So it's more on giving them some comparative properties that they can choose, and more on building relationship with the clients. So our goal is actually to become their agent of choice kapag tapos na itong pandemic na nangyayari sa atin.
All right. Mike, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, again, as I said earlier, of course, the key is keeping in touch. Again, our business, real estate business, is about relationship. So then I would like to echo what Manny said earlier. We're also trying to avoid hard selling during this time of crisis. Of course, being makulit is not a wise thing to do during crisis. Of course, be mindful that everyone is at difficult times right now. Again, show sincere concern for your clients. And then another thing that our sales team is doing right now is reminding our clients of their interest on a property. Again, ito yung mga clients na nag-inquire probably days or months or weeks before the lockdown. Then during this lockdown, you have to remind them, sir, ma'am, inquired about a certain property. Let me know, we're still operational. If there's anything that we could give you during this lockdown, please feel free to contact us.
Okay, yeah, that's a good approach. What about you, Dr. Ong?
Yes.
Any additional tips that you can share for retaining clients?
I've been saying that there are always opportunities even in critical times. All you have to know is just to be able to connect and to network with your clients, with your peers, with your associates, and with the community in general. Number one, be aware of what's happening out there. Second, connect with your clients, make your clients at peace, and let them know that you are still there. You can lend them your ears and be able to answer all their queries. That's why, as a matter of fact, I have set up a blog to answer questions or as pertaining to real estate and business entrepreneurship in general. So it will be soon launched by by my team, by my IT team, and hopefully we can help. The thing for us is to join hands together to be able to help, to be able to assist not only our clientele, not only the people, the community, but likewise assist government in the things that they're doing right now. They're sacrificing a lot, especially our health workers, right? And in this time, we have to take the opportunity to ponder, to think about things and look into what we are, where we are going, what we are doing, and how are we going to achieve our goals. We have to look at what we had before, look at the past, look at what we had today, and plan for the future. There's some sort of, I'm trying to ask my team to look for some sort of planning. We can do planning through Zoom meeting, strategic planning on how we can best satisfy our clients or clientele when we get back to work after the lockdown.
All right. Let's move to the next question. This one is specifically for Pinnacle, but of course, if you do have any insights on this right now, Dr. Ong, you mentioned a while ago, to look for opportunities. You're scouting, you're keeping in touch with your network. I'm sure, Mike, you're doing the same for your team. But there are questions on what are there still any opportunities in the real estate sector cropping up at the moment? Is there something that you and your team are seeing?
Well, everything is just on wait and see mode right now. Nothing major would happen in a month or two. If this, of course, extends to another month. Same opportunities will be back once this is over. BPOs, for example, BPOs will continue to look for office after this lockdown. Overseas Filipino workers, local buyers, foreign investors would again buy and look for opportunities here in the Philippines. Developers would also look for properties for expansion once everything's over. So there's nothing really to worry if this would extend for, say, another month.
Okay. So we're good for a few for 1 to 2 more months.
1 to 2 months.
Yes, we're good for 1 to 2 months, and hopefully we'd be able to to defeat, or at least to mitigate the effects of COVID. Now, you guys have been in touch with your clients. I'm sure, siguro for 10 days, you guys have been figuring out how to keep in touch, and all. But my next question would be, what are the usual concerns? What are they usually asking or requesting? What are your property seekers and investors looking for, or are worried about during this time? And I think that we can start with Manny.
Yeah, actually, ang word ng mga prospect clients ngayon, yung uncertainty ng kanilang business. So they are asking, probably they will be interested to continue with the purchase kung medyo magiging mas magkaroon ng flexibility on the terms of payment, like while we are yung inaayos natin na maka back to normal. So siguro yun ang nakikita kong malimit na narinig kong queries ng mga potential home seekers.
And if I can just add, is this something that you guys are able to sort of to help with your clients right now, or are there any solutions that you are able to provide for them right now? Though I understand this is, of course, according to owners or developers, or their decision. But what about for you brokers? How is this something that you're able to help with at this time?
Yeah.
Dr. Ong.
Yeah. Communication is very important. It is a way to connect with one another. That's why I always make it a point that every morning during this lockdown that I network, communicate with my people, with my team. And we are cooking up a lot of opportunities, a lot of things via the net or via the internet. And I think we will be able to succeed. However, some of our clients are asking what will happen to the properties. What will happen, because there are projects that are due for deliveries soon. But I guess it will be delayed for a little while until such time that we are stabilized. And I'm sure that I saw in Facebook that the cure is finally coming in. And I hope so. I hope so that it will be benefit to the whole world, not only our country, but to the whole world. And much as I say that real estate is a very good investment. And real estate will always be there. Owning a piece of land is the best investment you can have in your lifetime. Not only because it increases the value, but likewise, it is something that you can leave as legacy to your children and to your grandchildren. That is why my clients, after explaining to them, they still would want to say that, okay, so we will wait, but we will buy when the lockdown is over.
Okay, that's good.
Nadine, if I may add,
yes, of course.
Manny mentioned earlier yung concerns on, of course, amortizations,
yes,
payment of obligations. I think during this time of crisis naman, everyone is being flexible, being reasonable. So I guess advice on buyers, approach financial institutions, approach the developers, and I'm sure they will hear you out and find solutions to basically the problems that you're encountering in terms of paying your obligations.
Okay. I'm sure that will be very reassuring to them, especially right now, right? Now my next question here is, how can situations like this, or have you seen any best practices from your end as to how brokers are not really taking advantage of, but how brokers are dealing with the situation right now. Have you seen any best practices, or do you guys have any best practices that you can share? I will start with Mike.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to start by saying that I don't want to use the word or the phrase taking advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Siguro,
Siguro how they're
siguro,
dealing with the situation right now.
how you would thrive, how you would
Yes.
survive during this type of crisis.
Yes.
But again, I keep on saying again, everyone's just on wait and see mode right now. Everything will be back to normal after say a month or two. What would separate you from the rest of industry players is what you are doing during the lockdown. Everyone's at home, spend time a lot on social media, be visible during this lockdown. Again, if I'm going to put a number, about 70 to 80% are probably working at home. So be visible, be seen by them. That you're still operational. You could still address their concern, and you could also still answer questions or queries about a certain property or about their interest.
Okay. Manny, anything to add? Dr. Ong, any?
Yeah. The present situation should not deter our brokers and our clients to connect with one another. Now I see a lot of posting in social media about properties for sale, about inquiries, and so many things that are needed in real estate. I think everything is gonna be all right, except for one thing, maybe closing. Maybe, well, not closing actually, with maybe documentation. Because there should, some of my clients says, okay, I'll buy, but what about documentation? You have to wait for, because it has to be done physically, no, to the register of deeds, etc., BIR, etc. So, but then and then, I believe that we'll be all right. Real estate will be resilient, and I guess that what Mike and Manny are saying is correct. That they are really very optimistic on the real estate industry. And guys, let us not just sit down. We move and network through our social media and be able to communicate with our clientele and also with one another and to the world. Because our clients are not only Philippines, so we have clients all over the world, and especially, but information I think will have to be disclosed. Like Mike and Manny are the best examples of good practitioners. And I guess, and I always remind people, when I was chair of the Professional Regulation Commission, Board of Real Estate Service, I have licensed about 75,000 brokers, appraisers, and consultants and salespersons. And what are they doing? Imagine. But 75,000 licensed, and there are about over 100,000 practicing without a license. However, let's not talk about it now. Let's join our hands together so that we can really make real estate a very potent, a very dynamic, and continue to do networking despite these critical COVID times.
Okay. That's certainly inspiring. But now I guess we can go with our next question now. So we know what brokers are supposed to do. Brokers are supposed to network, to connect, to make relationships with their clients. But what about our clients? What's one thing that property seekers and investors can do during this time? Anyone who wants to jump in on that question?
Well,
our clients?
Yes, we can start with Mike. What's one thing that your clients can do right now that you can advise them right now?
Advice to clients, advice to property buyers. This is the time to look for opportunities, look for your dream house, look for that vacation house, look for that income generating properties. They're all online. Brokers, real estate practitioners would make themselves available during this lockdown. So take that opportunity to, find your dream house again, find your vacation house, and find your income generating properties that you've been wanting to buy.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Dr. Ong? What can you advise
Yeah.
for your clients right now?
Well, my advice to my clients and prospective buyers to always keep in touch with your friendly brokers, with your friendly associates, and your person. Get information, be updated. And this will be over soon. As Micah said, well, nothing is permanent, of course. Then we will be able to resume operations maybe in a couple of weeks or maybe a month or so. And then it will continue. Real estate will continue to be a robust industry.
All right. What about you, Manny? What would you advise for your property seekers and potential buyers and investors?
Hello. Yeah, actually, it was our topic during our last Zoom meeting, my sales team last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So, nakikita kasi natin na kung sakali man na magkakaroon ng medyo decline ng mga potential buyers, I'm sure because of the situation na nangyayari ngayon, maaaring magkaroon ng mga sellers ng mga property nila ngayon, may mga ongoing mga mortgage, may mga problem sa business, baka magkaroon ng maging maghanap sila ng mga properties, and this is the opportunity for the agents, also for the investors to look for that particular opportunity na yung mga gusto magbenta ng property in the future.
All right.
So, yeah.
Yes, sir. Keep going. Anything to add?
Yeah. So that's why we're not just calling our buyers, but we also calling our mga former customers na in-inform namin na kung sakali bang mayroong mga magagandang opportunity na darating sa market ngayon, would they be willing to or be interested to invest or take advantage or what?
Okay. Right. So I think that's it for the questions on broker businesses and property seekers and investors. Now we're going to jump backwards from our last episode last week, or basically our first episode last week. We had some questions from our audience regarding regarding pre-selling and what will the situation be moving forward. So the first question from one of our commenters is, do you think that pre-selling prices will drop with the COVID-19 crisis? I guess to start, I think Mike, this is something that you can discuss first.
Yeah. If in a month or two, no. Ang kailangan natin bantayan, of course, yung default on mortgages. Basically default on mortgages and other macroeconomic indicators that are affecting our real estate industry. For example, interest rates and inflation rate.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one subsector of the real estate industry that will be affected, yun yung tourism. So pagdating sa property prices, we don't see any significant drop if this lockdown would extend for another month.
Okay. Dr. Ong, if I can ask the same question, do you think that pre-selling prices will drop?
Yeah, it is only a temporary setback. We will come back and we will, be able to stand again. I would like to thank, this is an opportunity for me to thank our government, led by President Duterte, for doing a good job. I think we are soon will be able to eradicate, we'll able to fight and eradicate this virus, and we'll come back will be stable soon. And I'm trying to say that real estate will always be there. You know, it of course, temporary setback, it will not really depreciate, but it will appreciate after the lockdown. I think so.
All right. The second question from our commenters is, Manny, pala, do you have anything to add? Do you think that your pre-selling prices will drop with the COVID-19 crisis?
Yeah, siguro kung hindi naman siya tatagal, so I'm sure hindi siya ma-affectahan masyado, but kung tatagal siya, yes, and but the price will go down by form of discounts and probably good terms of payment from the developers. Yeah, you know, yung pre-selling, ang primarily bumibili sa ngayon talaga is mga investors pa rin. Kasi hindi naman yung mga home seekers talaga, hindi naman sila makakapaghintay ng 5 years para sa property. So yung mga investors na to, so kung ang kanilang siyempre primary concern natin yung basic needs. So nandun ang concentration nila. So how do you parang attract them? So I'm sure by giving discounts on property aside from the terms of payment.
Okay. All right. So my next question now, and will be the last question from our commenters. For someone who has experienced dips in history or dips in history in terms of real estate, how long did these dips last for, and how long will it take for real estate to get back up? And I think we can start with Mike.
Yeah, basically dalawang dips or dalawang crisis that we had experienced for the last, say, 2 to 3 decades. One, of course, in 1997. We were able to bounce back, I believe, in 2004 because of the emergence of BPOs and then the passage of the SPV law, or the Special Purpose Vehicle Law, encouraging all banks to unload their non-performing assets. So meron siyang 7-year cycle. Then in 2008, of course, the Lehman bankruptcy, the AIG crisis. Yung exposure natin is not that bad compared to 1997 because the fundamentals of banks are good. Our exposures are capped to 20%. And I believe we've learned a lot from the 1997 crisis. All the adjustments were already done by the government during that time. Of course, important to note that during these two crises, 1997 and 2008, real estate are at the center of those crises. Ibang usapan, of course, during this COVID crisis. 1 to 2 months, then again, as Dr. Ong mentioned, this is just a temporary crisis for real estate, as we are again set to bounce back once this is over. So we don't panic. We don't see any real estate market crash because of this COVID crisis.
Okay, and now for Dr. Ong, right? To repeat the question, how long did the dips last back during the real estate crisis, and how quickly did it take for the real estate?
As explained by Mike, we have survived all of these crises. There was a time that real estate, when the crisis in the Asian flu came down, especially, of course, the natural calamities like typhoons, earthquakes, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was prices of properties went down a bit, and for investor, that is a very nice thing to invest.
Mm-hmm.
It is an opportunity to invest because real estate will bounce back. And real estate, as I've seen in the past, always bounces back. And it is really moving towards what we say stability, and then investment in real estate will always be there. Kaya it is always nice and paramount to really invest in real estate. You know why? Because to me, those who were able to buy properties during the Asian flu, they are now benefiting from it. Look at the prices now of real estate in the metropolitan Manila, in the Metro Manila area. Wow, it's zooming like hell, you know. But it's skyrocketing. But do we see a tapering off of the property price? No. At the moment, no. We will have to wait and see that what we can do as real estate practitioners is really to get in touch, network, and be able to look for our mass base, our clients, and also investors, and also foreign and local as we may. And at the end, real estate will be an agile. It will be a very potent industry to reckon with.
Okay. And I think that's it for all of our questions. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much again, Manny, Dr. Ong, Mike, for taking the time. I hope you're all safe and well over there. And thank you to our audience over at Facebook Live for watching our webinar. We appreciate your questions and we will try our best to answer them below. Our panel, of course, will be there to answer or to send us their responses again. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. We will also be asking those questions for our next panel on our next episode of Surviving Broker Business in the Time of COVID-19. So that is happening Friday this week. So again, please stay tuned so we can get your answers for you from our next panel in the next episode, and of course from the current responses of our current panel here as well. And with that, again, thank you all so much. Be safe, be well, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next episode.